Okay, but before we get into this review, there's just one thing I have to say about this movie.
Don't let me!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mason Brown. I'm the guy who sits in this chair, and I'm happy to have you back. Turning Red is the newest Disney Pixar film, released on Disney Plus, and I had the good fortune to watch it last night, and I have to say, it is a delight. This movie really filled me with joy. This movie is expressive and hilarious and beautiful and heartfelt, just as Pixar movies in the past. The animation in particular is incredible within this film. Pixar does a wonderful job kind of upping the ante, upping the bar as far as what they're willing to do in animation, and it is pure art at this point. The character animation, the fur simulations,
You're so fluffy! You're so fluffy!
the lighting, the textures, everything within this film. There's some beautiful shots. There's some very, very expressive characters within this film. They draw a lot of inspiration from manga and anime, as far as the reactions and the facial expressions and the ways that the eyes change, and it is so much fun. I had a smile on my face the entire time I was watching this movie, and I think that I would say this is probably the funniest Pixar movie that I have seen. This story follows a young 13-year-old Mei Lin Lee, or as her friends call her, Mei Mei, which oddly enough was my nickname growing up. She is a 13-year-old Chinese girl growing up in Toronto, and watching her and her family and her friends navigate the middle school life and the beginning of adolescence and these new kind of like heightened emotional drama that comes with all of those elements: her family, friends, school, and adolescence. Added on some mystical elements that only add to the antics of this film, and it is a romp. So much adventure, the stakes are so high, kind of within these characters in these very silly situations. But very relatable, since we've all been through at least some sort of circumstances like Mei Mei in this film. She feels as though she is being drawn in two different directions and doesn't really know who she is. She feels like she's one person with her friends, one person with her family, and doesn't exactly know how to kind of reconcile the two parts of herself. With her friends, she is expressive, she is rambunctious, full of energy, she is passionate, and obsessed with boys and this one particular boy band called Four Town. With her parents, she is very, very reserved and obedient and respectful, honors her parents, and sort of tries to keep herself to herself when she's with her parents, because she's afraid to how they would respond. These are very common themes that we've seen in a lot of coming-of-age films, especially as far as sort of a parent-child relationships, and we'll get into that a little bit more. Now, Mei Lin's friends are just as expressive, just as bright and colorful as she is. They are passionate weirdos. They are hilarious to watch. They're each very different as far as their sort of emotional range, their emotional cores. What brings them together is really their love for each other and their passion for this boy band, Four Town. It is great to see these four girls as they are navigating the drama and the antics of middle school, as they are also kind of trying to juggle their lives and their expectations within this middle school drama. And the Mei Mei, as she is with her friends, is very well juxtaposed against the Mei Lin when she is at home with her parents. She lives in fear that they will find out kind of who she is, that they would be ashamed of her. And so she kind of goes out of her way to hide some of her more expressive, more passionate things, which leads to hilarity and drama when her two worlds begin to collide, when her two selves kind of become exposed both to her friends and to her parents, as she works to reconcile within herself as well as within her relationships who she will be, the kind of young woman that she will grow up to be. And of course, everything changes when she wakes up one day as a giant red panda. She finds out that she can turn herself into this giant red, cuddly, at times terrifying panda whenever she expresses herself in a very emotional way, whenever she is distraught or distressed, whenever she is hyper excited, whenever she is angry. She sort of hulks out into this large furry creature, and that only adds to the antics and to the drama of who she will be and how other people perceive her, how she perceives herself within these situations. The central conflict within this film is certainly Maylin's relationship with her mother. There is a tension there that we've kind of already discussed as far as her mother's expectations for her versus the kind of person that Maylin wants to grow up to be. The kind of person that she is and that she hides from her parents. This is a very common theme we've seen in a lot of films that kind of cover the same sort of topic as far as coming of age and sort of reconciling with parents and kind of relationships as you grow up. I thought it was handled pretty well here. There are certainly situations in which Maylin's mother oversteps her boundaries, where she is overbearing and demanding and overprotective of her daughter in a way that goes kind of beyond what is healthy as far as a parent-daughter relationship. I will say the older that I get, the more that I relate to a parent's point of view. Certainly within this film, I can understand her parents' fear of what could happen to their daughter, and that they want the best for her, that they want her to be happy, they want her to be protected, they want her to be successful. But at times that goes against the kind of person that Maylin is, or that she wants to be, that she is with her friends. And so there's a clash of these different expectations, different responsibilities, and things that are kind of put on her as she strives to kind of reconcile that and reconcile with her parents and her friends. And I do think films like this tend to villainize parents in some way, making them into sort of an antagonist against the character to drive the drama, to drive the plot. I think it's an important discussion to have, especially as your kids get older, to set some boundaries and set some expectations and discuss the kind of people that the child will grow up to be, as well as kind of the expectations of the parents and how both can be met. Or both can be kind of changed to create some kind of a healthy boundary and a stronger foundation for a relationship going forward. In the end, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't say this is my favorite Pixar movie. If you want to know what that is, you can check out this video up here where I list some of my favorite movies. But I would say that this is a strong Pixar movie. I think the characters, I think the heartfelt story, the animation, the humor. This is a great film to watch as a family. Like I said, I think it brings up some important issues and things to discuss as a family, and one-on-one kind of setting expectations and learning to understand and listen and accept our parents and our children as they are, as well as understanding that our parents want what's best for us, or they should. And how they express that can be unhealthy or overbearing, but sort of setting up an expectation with that, I think, is a good way to go forward. So I think this film deserves your attention. I would definitely recommend it. But that's the end of my review here. What about you? Have you had a chance to see this movie? What are your thoughts about it? Have you had overall positive impressions? Were there some issues you had with this movie? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Or if you would want to make your own review video, I would be happy to check that out right here. But that's it for me today. Thanks so much for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.